We seek unity as we recognize racial inequality, as we recognize the sin of racism.
Archbishop Joseph Kurtz of the Louisville Archdiocese calling for unity as protests erupted in his city following the Breonna Taylor grand jury decision. Archbishop Kurtz has been a strong advocate for his local Black Catholic community.
We need to work for racial justice.
But as some of those protests turned violent, leading to destruction and 2 officers shot right before curfew, the Archbishop calling for peace and thanking first responders.
There's a First Amendment right to peaceful protests, so that's not something we want to ignore. That's our nation needs that in a sense, but it cannot devolve into violence.
He's also praying for the 2 officers that were shot. Breonna was killed on March 13th when officers executed a warrant at her apartment for her boyfriend. Police say they announced themselves. Her boyfriend says they didn't. Yesterday, a grand jury decided not to charge the officers involved in the operation with her murder. One officer does face charges for his actions. The other 2 under investigation were not indicted.
Mob justice is not justice. Justice sought by violence is not justice. It just becomes revenge. And in our system, criminal justice isn't the quest for revenge. It's the quest for truth.
With the announcement, protests broke out across the country from New York
no justice, no peace,
to California. Kentucky's governor now calling for the evidence to be released to the public. But as the country waits, Archbishop Kurtz says it's still important to take steps to fight against racial inequality.
The way in which we as a church do it is we pray, we educate ourselves, and then we try to put a face on the issue.
A concern for the possibility of more violence tonight in Louisville as protests continue. Demonstrations are also being planned for tonight here in New York City. Last night's protest brought thousands of people to the streets. On the Upper East Side, Emily DROOBY, Kurtz News. If you're watching Kurtz News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and then click on the bell to get instant updates about all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.